Hello everybody. Well, this wasn't the video I wanted to make today. I was on a shipping job and I was thinking I should film that, but I got about an hour and a half into the job and I see coolant spraying everywhere on the chipper. Shut it down immediately, thankfully before it did any damage, and I couldn't see much in there. I'm trying to look through the cover, front cover. My first guess when I saw coolant was probably the water pump. Things don't just happen. I've been hearing this rattling and I thought that it was maybe a belt slapping a little loose, but evidently it was more than that and it was the water pump. Today what I'm going to be doing is replace the water pump. So if you look at that, that's not supposed to be that way. So I'm going to talk to RDO and see how much the part is, hopefully get it on order if it's not in the store already, and then replace this. I've never done this before, so I don't know how hard of a job it is. I don't know how much stuff there is to take off. I'm guessing you have to maybe take the tensioner off and maybe a couple pulleys to get in there. So far what I've done, taken the intake hose off of the turbo. I took these two hoses that go from the radiator to the top of the water pump, and then this line that goes down to the bottom, and these other lines. Those are pretty self-explanatory, but the other thing that you do before you get into that is you have to take the cover off the front, which I will show you. It's really simple. It's just bolts right on the top and on the front, and then the bottom ones you loosen. You don't have to take all the way out. They're just slots they slide into. But I'll show you what it looks like when it's off. So yeah, you just have to pull that off. It's pretty easy, and then it gives you pretty decent access. I was expecting to have to tear the whole front of this off and pull the radiator, but I don't think I'll have to do that. So far it's looking like I can just pull the front off, and then I think I can get the tools I need in here so I can pull that water pump out. Well, another day, another broken machine. I started doing this water pump. Well, I changed gears a little bit, went to another job. Well, first I got the part for this, went to a job the next day, and then I broke my excavator as well. And that is going to be another expensive fix, so this is just how business goes. But back to the topic of this video. I will show you the pump in a minute, but I got carried away and I started doing more before I filmed. But I will kind of show you what I did, and it's fairly self-explanatory. I mean, if I can figure it out, anybody could figure it out. So there's bolts on the front cover for the water pump. I don't know how many bolts there are, but you can see all the bolts on the front. There's like this cover here. I also took off the fan. I did not take it out of the way completely, but I got it out of the way enough that I can get the cover off. So there's 4 bolts kind of in a square pattern on the end of this, and they're a little tricky to get into, but just a regular wrench you can feel on the back side and get those bolts out. These are what the bolts look like, and like I said, there's 4. It wasn't too difficult, and right now I'm working on getting this pulley out. I'm just gonna take it off right now while I've got the video running. So I got that pulley off, and if everything is what it looks like, it should just be a few more bolts, and then the whole assembly should come right out. Without too much trouble, it actually came out. I know so many of these things you get into and you realize it's like 10 times as complicated as you thought, but this one, it actually wasn't that bad. In here there is a lot of chip dust, being a chipper of course, so I'm gonna grab the vacuum and just vacuum up all of this junk and then start getting this cleaned up so I can do the installation. So this is what the water pump looks like. I picked this up from my local RDO equipment in Portland. It comes as a kit, so it comes with some pulleys. This is the main assembly right in here. This was not a cheap water pump, but at the very least, I know it's an upgrade because the original is aluminum and this one is cast iron. One thing you have to do here is pull off this boot or this fitting, and then thermostat is right underneath there. You need to replace this and put it in your new water pump. Included in the kit is this pulley here, and then this goes on here like this for the fan. It is an updated design. This is what the old one looked like, where it has the pulley and then this aluminum spacer thing, and then the fan would go on there. I think I like this better. It's a little bit more lightweight design. Right, out with the old, in with the new. I got it in, but not bolted down. I also got this little plate, which 2 pulleys mount to one of the pulleys here, and then the tensioner mounts over here. And there are a few more bolts, working my way through the bolts. Now I'm going to tighten up the 4 bolts on this bracket and then go ahead and put the pulleys back on. One of the next things I'm going to do here is grab the alternator and get it mounted over here where it goes. Now I'm working on putting the fan on. It did come with new hardware, a little bit updated. It has Allen keys for these ones instead of a regular hex head. And this is a little tricky to get into. You have to get in behind, reach your hand through the fan, and try to get a wrench on it, start it by hand, and then you also have to try not to mess up your fins. This is a pretty tricky part. Finally, after some busted knuckles, I was able to get this fan bolted on. I really actually didn't like the updated design. It uses an Allen key, consequently made it very hard to turn the heads, whereas a hex bolt, you know, you could just turn like that, but nope, really hard to turn. I was able to pop the belt back on. I just pulled the tensioner with my hand and got the belt wrapped around. It's pretty self-explanatory, the routing on there. Now I'm just going to work on putting these pipes on, and I guess we'll get some coolant in there and she should be good to go. Alright, we are finished up. I got everything back together, got the front cover on. The only thing I have left to do is finish topping off the coolant. I got 3 gallons of coolant, but that apparently wasn't quite enough, so I am going to get more coolant. But I started it up and ran it for a couple minutes, and everything seems very smooth, so yeah, I think we made it.